Welcome back, guys. New episode. There's a lot to talk about. MonkeyGames Lounge episode 4. Huge applause. Wait, I need to get the applause button ready. There it is. Applause. It's happening. Not too much. Not too much, right? We're still a small endeavor over here. I'm here with Ramses. Ramses, introduce yourself. Say something.
Hello.
Okay,
It is me,
that's enough.
floating in the sky, as I always am.
He does. He is painting himself as some kind of a demigod person. I don't know what that says about you or your character. But that's not what we're here to talk about today.
It means that I'm very humble. But yeah, go on.
Okay, it will take me a while to connect those two dots. But I want to talk about the things that happened the past week. Because we missed a week. We are late. It's true. It is my fault. I was on holiday. So egoistically traveling. I know.
Germans don't go on holiday. Boo.
Well, that's actually not true. Germans do go on holiday. And then they famously put bath towels on the deck chairs. Did you not know this? You didn't know this?
Oh, yeah, we do that too.
No, but we do it aggressively. Like Germans get up at 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning they get up and they go down to the pool and they put their bath towels on the deck chairs, and then they go back to their room and sleep another 4 hours just to reserve it. Like that level of audacity. That's Germans on holiday.
Okay, well that's very
Okay. But anyway, because I was on holiday, obviously it's always like this. Whenever I go on holiday, loads of things are happening, and in this case, the world of gaming somewhat imploded. Because
really did.
It really did, because while I was away, go ahead.
On par with Queen Elizabeth II dying, really.
First of all, nobody has died. Okay, I just want to make this clear. We're not talking about.
You don't know.
And also, it's not good for the algorithm. We shouldn't say the D word. That D word. It's like anything related to unaliving.
Ever since Queen Elizabeth II committed disconnect from server.
Yes, she got sunsetted, many may say.
Yes.
But anyway, let me summarize the story. The news hit while I was away, and it's already like 1.5 weeks old news now, but I still think like, now it's settled a bit. We can really dive deep into it and discuss it. Phil Spencer has officially stepped down as the CEO of Xbox. And not only that, Sarah Bond, who I think a lot of people assumed would be his predecessor, following up in his footsteps, has resigned as well. That's the official story. We know how this works. Or we not? Yeah, resigned. Now, Asha Shah is the new CEO. She's already learning how Xbox works, getting familiar with what gaming is and all these things. She previously was working on AI products at Microsoft. Okay, so that's what has a lot of people concerned. She was very much dedicated and involved and invested in the AI game, as Microsoft is. You know, Microsoft.
Copilot.
Yeah, just on a side note, Microsoft is like a massive investor in OpenAI as well, and other AI products. They're obviously trying to push AI into every single sector that they have at the moment. And this feels like Asha Shah coming forward, being the new CEO. Might be the age of AI, but we're gonna get into this a little bit later. I don't know. Do you want to give like an opening statement about this? What are your thoughts on when you read this? When you read this first, what was your reaction?
Okay, yeah. How about I start off, give some light context, and then we'll talk about go a bit further.
Fair enough.
The initial reaction was definitely like, well, that expected. I feel like people have been basically waiting for Phil to leave for like 5 years at this point, in my opinion. Maybe not 5 years, but I'll definitely say at least 2 years. I think when the Xbox Series S and X came out and it didn't do fantastic, was when people expected him to change, and also maybe the pivot, in my opinion, to Game Pass, because it was so different to what Phil was doing beforehand. He seemed to just go the traditional, route, exclusives, But for some context, Phil Spencer, 58, the 12-year head of Xbox, is officially retiring. He retired in I think on the 23rd of February, and Sarah Bond resigned on the 24th. And like Monkey said, Sarah Bond wasn't. She was widely seen like in and out of the company as being his heir apparent. So this means that Phil, after 38 years at Microsoft, that's his end of his relationship with Microsoft. He James Williams did. He arrived as an intern, and somehow outlasted everyone.
Yes.
In the whole company.
Yeah.
But he took over Xbox in 2014 after the big Don Matternick came in and just elbow dropped everyone's dreams and shattered everyone's hearts for Xbox One. Phil Spencer was the guy who disconnected. If anyone remembers, the Xbox One originally shipped with the Kinect as a mandatory purchase, and it was like what, $600 or something. Phil Spencer's first order of business was to immediately disconnect that, drop the price down to like I think $500 or $400, and made the Kinect not a mandatory purchase, which immediately won them a lot of good boy points with the gamer Xbox fanboys. Officially, Phil Spencer was named Microsoft Gaming CEO in 2022, when
Right.
Microsoft was just like having some organizational reshuffles. But
Yes.
anyway, Sarah Bond joined Xbox in 2017 as a corporate vice president for gaming and business development and partnerships, whatever the fuck that means. But Sarah Bond has had like quite a very fast-tracked career, probably due to the fact that both her parents worked in a huge telecom company that she was also a corporate vice president of.
Mm.
I should say Phil Spencer is 58 years old. Sarah Bond is 48. Generally old-ish, especially I feel like for the tech sector. But so Phil Spencer is about to hit 60. So more power to you, Phil.
Okay. But let me show you this. If you look on the screen right now, there's a little post here or story. Hold on, I have to reshuffle it slightly for the audience. It's an article from the 3rd of July 2025, so not that long ago, right? Like less than a year ago.
Yeah.
Where Xbox Phil Spencer says he's not retiring anytime soon. Guys, I'm here to stay. Okay, Phil Spencer became CEO of almost 40-year career at Microsoft, so he denies the claims that he's stepping down. Because there were those rumors, right? We even discussed them on this podcast, that how long will Phil Spencer still last and stuff. But I think...
Don't you worry. I'll go into it. Don't you worry.
So my first initial reaction when I saw it was, wow, that's earlier than I thought. That's what's like. I was like, of course, everyone saw it coming. But I thought Phil Spencer, at least he's going to have another 5 years in him, 4 years maybe, really see how Game Pass pans out, steer the ship a bit further. But now him being, I don't want to say kicked out,
that was
right?
definitely the vibe.
That
was definitely the vibe. That was definitely the vibe for Phil Spencer, that he's going to be on for a few more years for sure.
Right. So I think there are implications that may give us a little bit of a hint that maybe he and Sarah Bond as well didn't leave as voluntarily as the story is officially known, right? It is absolutely possible that they were, okay, here's my theory. This is also because obviously when I read the story, I was like, so why is this happening? Why would Phil step down or they let him go? Because also we have to honor Phil Spencer. He's one of the great ones, right? He is one of the Reggie Fils-Aimé type of level. He's like with Todd Howard up there on these legends, right? I would even like bring in an icon, right? Like, I mean, there are others still like Hideo Kojima, and you can count so many to it. But in terms of this gaming CEO, right? That's why I love this Microsoft gaming CEO. He really kind of represented that. To what extent it was true is a different question. But I think he was a likable guy, and he always, also from your description, I don't want to say always put the gamers first, but what he was always doing is he was trying to make games accessible to more people. Lower the prices, right? More games into this bundle. Let people experience games. And I really respect that. I thought that was a great thing. But anyway, back to the main story. So he said he won't retire soon. And here is a little post that came from Sarah Bond's, I think, LinkedIn account, if I'm not mistaken. Check this out, right? This was posted a few hours before this story broke, right? That Sarah Bond is also stepping down just with Phil Spencer together. And here she says, President or CEO of Xbox at that time, we'd love to learn more about how you play so we can continue improving Xbox as accessibility features. When everyone plays, we all win. So she was making these posts, public posts on her LinkedIn that imply, at least, that at this point she didn't know or maybe wasn't informed. Now, we don't know this, obviously. She's a public figure. She might not make these posts herself, right? She may have a team. Most likely, actually, she has a team doing these. But still, it is somewhat odd that a few hours before this story comes out and breaks publicly, she still, or her team still makes these posts. It just, again, all these are, in my opinion, just from like an external observation, obviously I have nothing to do with Microsoft. It seems like there's more to the story. And I feel, you can kind of give me your take on this, I feel the reason was because the numbers didn't add up. They had a meeting with Phil Spencer, fairly probably short notice. And again, I'm speculating. And they're like, listen, Phil, look, this is where Game Pass is at. This is where the exclusives is. That's where console sales are at. All these numbers are not good. They probably had prior meetings already where it was like, dude, you got to turn this around somehow. Because keep in mind, they're about one thing and one thing only, and that is money and shareholders. Okay, like that's what they care about. They want,
No,
what did they
they're
want?
about making sure the gamers are happy and healthy.
Okay, fair enough. That is probably second on their agenda, but they do want to make shit tons of money. That's what it's about. And let's be honest, we don't know subscriber numbers for Game Pass, but they just hiked the prices like crazy. I think that booted out a lot of people, and they're probably not great, the numbers for Game Pass in terms of subscriptions. So I think they said, Phil, we love you. You're a great guy. Numbers don't add up after so many years. We're bringing in AI Lady. Have a great day. And then probably...
the numbers don't lie, and they're spelling disaster for you.
Exactly. That's how this feels. Obviously, we don't know this, but that's how this feels. That's what do you think something like that happened, or do you think Phil just said, "That's it for me, I'm done," on his own behalf?
Well, I can actually add to your speculation, because there's a great article by The Verge. It's paywalled, but you should pay for good journalism, and this was legitimately good journalism. The article is by Tom Warren. It was released on 23rd February. It's called "Inside of Microsoft's Big Xbox Leadership Shakeup." I'm not going to repeat the whole article, but you can look at it for yourself. But anyway, it reports that Spencer has actually been he informed Microsoft of his intention to retire all the way back in like 2014 or 2015. So it's been a year. His plans to retire have been known for a year. And the reason this announcement of him, retiring and Sarah Bond resigning, is because it actually leaked, and Microsoft knew that IGN, the hard-hitting journalists over at IGN, were actually going to leak the news early. So that's why it felt rushed, because it was. But for Phil's retirement, no, that's been planned for a year. Sarah Bond's resignation appears to be, though, that appears to maybe not part of the plan, but it definitely didn't go as smoothly as I think they were, because there were 4 posts by Microsoft. I think it was by the new gaming CEO, Asha. I think her last name is Sharma, is how you pronounce it. But her, Satya Nadella, and Phil Spencer, and I think Matt Booty, and only Phil mentioned Sarah. Nobody mentioned Sarah. All the other posts were mentioning Phil, and they were thanking him for his work, and ushering him on or whatever. No one mentioned Sarah, which is very strange, because Sarah Bond was also a very visible and known member. Even if you aren't like super hardcore into like gaming news, you'd at least know what Sarah Bond looks like the Xbox woman, because she's been involved for years at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
2017.
So you think it was mainly Phil Spencer who liked her, who was like, come on, let's bring in Sarah Bond, and he was feeling that she can contribute and add to the team, while the rest was like, I'm not really sure she's the right person.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it definitely looks like, because nobody's mentioning Sarah Bond, and these are like small hints. And Sarah Bond isn't like some person that you forget to mention. No, she was his heir apparent. Like, everybody knew Sarah was supposed to be next in line to the Xbox gaming throne. The throne has been rattled. But anyway,
it's a Game of Thrones, one could say. But
the Game of Green Thrones, the Game of X Thrones, or maybe X Thrones.
Yeah,
is a great
just
title. But anyway,
good joke.
But
yeah,
stuff.
So no, but also
so
I think
apparently,
one thing, just to contribute to that quickly on the Sarah Bond end, she was also the person who was responsible, or at least officially was behind the idea of everything is an Xbox, that campaign that Xbox ran.
Yes.
Which they have kind of rolled back a little bit now. Like, I see less of that in their ads. I think that was a massive failure, right? They did a lot of damage to their brand by saying everything is an Xbox, because basically you're saying your Xbox is worthless. You could have might as well used your phone, you idiot. So
yeah, exactly. And the Verge article goes into how it actually really pissed off a lot of internal Xbox employees, because it was so confusing. And a lot of employees were like, well, if everything's in the Xbox, what's the point of selling the console itself? I should say this was under Phil Spencer's direction. She was it was her like I guess idea, and it was her execution, but it was under Phil Spencer's direction. So let's not like make it that Sarah went off
Fair
on a
enough.
limb and decided to do this. I should also note that Sarah and Phil's probably, or Spencer rather, yeah, whatever, Bond and Spencer, to keep it professional. Their biggest contribution, and the thing that's most definitely going to overshadow, if you will, their careers at Xbox, is the Activision Blizzard acquisition, which
Mm.
Sarah Bond was absolutely instrumental in getting that passed
Mm.
with legislators and stuff like that. So that's absolutely going to be what they're known for now. And it's probably also what caused their downfall, really, because it took way longer than Microsoft expected. It most definitely costed way more than Microsoft expected because they were battling multiple fronts, specifically the US and the UK, to get
Yeah.
that passed due to monopoly laws. Um, but yeah, the reason this felt so rushed is just because the Xbox wanted to rush it in before it got leaked.
Mm.
Bond also quite, I guess, infamously announced in 2024 in Bloomberg's Tech Summit that Xbox will launch a mobile app store,
Mm.
which never launched. But yeah, the new CEO, Asha Sharma, she's only 36, dude.
That's
Um,
crazy, right? That is
very young. Yeah,
crazy.
very young.
Yeah.
She she's a don't worry though, the gamers are in very well capable hands. You know why? Because she's a board member of the Home Depot, so I'm sure she knows how to
Applause.
build
Huge.
cool,
That's huge.
interesting things. Maybe, yeah, maybe the new Xbox is gonna have a little bird house, so that when you're playing,
Mm.
little birds can
You
sleep
can
there.
there's a
Um,
built-in app to order DIY materials to your home. If you need you gaming
yeah,
and you're like, I'm
yeah.
gonna
Hey,
fix this window, just order it. It's all built in. It's great.
absolutely. And there's so many times when I'm gaming, knee deep, if you will, in
Yeah.
gaming, and I'm like, God, you know what'd be great right now? A 2x4 piece of wood for no
That's
fucking
right.
reason.
I think this all the time.
So,
That's right. Yes.
yeah, it's amazing. I'm like, I'm playing City Skylines, and I'm like, you know what? I do need a new windowsill. So let me thank you, Asha Sharma.
I ordered that
But
so
yeah, and
effortlessly. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, it's amazing. Xbox, order a 2x4 from
Order Xbox 2x4s. So they're gonna do a whole
Yeah.
new show now with her as the host, where they, instead of Xbox TV, gonna do everything about DIY stuff.
Oh,
That's gonna
it's
be,
gonna be like a home improvement, except
yes.
it's gonna be called Xbox Improvement, and they're gonna be like.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should mention someone I think who I'm finding more interesting, which is that the legend, the icon, the gray eminence, if you will, Matt Booty. Matt Booty is taking over Sarah Bond's role. If Asha Sharma is taking over Phil Spencer's role, then Matt Booty, the Bootinator, they call him, is
Yeah.
taking over Sarah Bond's former position as second in command at Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Booty, kind of similar to Phil Spencer, he's had a 15-year career at Microsoft. It's basically been half his professional career. The dude's history is somewhat um, inspiring, I guess, or calming, because unlike Asha, who has no experience in either gaming or entertainment, Matt Booty is an old head.
It's
He's
true.
primarily run game studio related work. He was the head of Xbox Game Studios,
Mm.
and I believe that's the position that he's being promoted from. Actually, Xbox Game Studios to being a vice corporate, whatever, president of Xbox now. Um, so yeah, he is quite. I find Matt Booty very interesting because, in my opinion, he is going to be her Gandalf, if you will, Sharma's Gandalf. He's going to be like, listen, this is how the industry's run. These are all the big players, and I would imagine that in these early days, it's going to be actually Matt Booty running things until Sharma kind of gets a better grasp of
Mm.
how things are run, and then she's gonna step into her role. But right now, it's a booty world. Okay, it's a Matt Booty world, and I'm so sorry, but it's impossible to not say Matt Booty and joke about his last name.
But he
The
looks
guy has probably survived.
he
Yeah,
even looks like a better and younger version of Phil Spencer in many ways. I'm just putting the
he
picture
really
on
does. He
screen.
looks like if
Yeah.
Phil Spencer, spent the time, on a treadmill. No offense,
Yeah,
Phil.
that's right.
Um,
Everyone loves Phil though. He looks like a gamer. He's a real gamer. So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
His
that's right.
official
Matt
Matt
Booty.
Booty's Matt Booty's new title is going to be the Xbox Chief Content Officer, and he's also an executive vice president of Microsoft Gaming. Sharma is also executive vice president because who gives a fuck at this point? All these
Yes.
titles are meaningless. Um, But yeah, this is a huge shakeup, man.
It's
And
a huge shakeup.
yeah,
But I mean,
I
I had one
but
more
yeah,
thing that I wanted to talk about regarding Phil Spencer and the time that he spent there, and potentially it not looking too good in terms of the numbers, right? I found this breakdown. Check this out. So, under Phil Spencer, under his whole time that he spent as the CEO of Xbox, Rare, the company, delivered only Sea of Thieves. One game in a decade. It is a good game, I would argue, right? And it has longevity. People are still playing it. They keep doing content. But at the same, it's very unique also. But I mean, one game in a decade. Halo lost almost all of
who
its
do they think they
relevance.
are? It says the game works. I mean, come
That's
on.
true. That's fine. If Todd Howard takes 15 years for Starfield, whatever, that's okay. Or is it? Anyway, that's a different question. Halo
No, it
almost
is
lost
not.
all of its relevance, right? So Halo is basically dead. So Phil Spencer, you have to say this after his whole
Why are
career.
you so cruel?
I mean,
Why are you
no,
so
no, no. We
cruel,
have
man?
to,
Why you gotta
dude. We
say that
have to
after
look
all?
at it.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
Look, I also see the positives. I'm a big fan of Game Pass. I'm on the PC only subscription. It's like $12.99 or $14.99 a month. It's not the end of the world. I can live with it, and I get a lot of games. So I'm quite happy with the product he put out there. But when it comes to Halo specifically, it has to be mentioned that he did not honor that brand. Sure, there was, what was it called, Halo Infinite, but that flopped. I wouldn't even argue that it was terrible, the game itself, but it flopped. Yeah, there's nothing left for
Definitely
Halo.
by their standards, it absolutely flopped in my opinion. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's just, look, Halo should be what, I don't know, a Last of Us or something is to PlayStation. You know, I mean, like a big.
It's their biggest IP, man.
It's
It's
a,
like if a Crash Bandicoot game came out during the PlayStation 2 era and it didn't do well. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? These games they can't do good, they can't do well, they have to do great, and anything below that is a flop.
exactly. And let's be honest, Phil Spencer, as the head of Xbox, did not manage to facilitate that. He was not able to.
There are a lot of blemishes on his career. I totally agree.
Gears, same story. Gears of War,
Oh
nobody
yeah,
cares anymore. These games are rotting away. Even they're not bad, right? But they're rotting away on Game Pass. Nobody cares. New Gears is announced, right? But it's also like, whatever, man. It has lost the relevance.
Who cares? Yeah.
Forza Motorsport, I wouldn't say died, but is also.
It's still there. It's chugging around. It's one of those franchises where I'm like, wow, you're still a thing? Cool. Like
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But
yeah.
that's because there's a small audience who are into this type of game. And that's what they play, and they invest into steering wheels. They attach to their desks and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but that's a
yeah.
small dying breed, I would
It's
argue.
insane.
You know, so Forza Motorsport, also not a great IP. Fable is now back, but disappeared for more than a decade, right? So he didn't do anything with this franchise. And I know I'm kind of blaming a lot on Phil here, but let's be honest, he's the CEO. That's your job, you know.
Yeah.
You need to see, look, we have Fable. People freaking love Fable. Let's get that stuff out on the market as soon as possible. We need a great Fable game. You know, he didn't do these things. Obviously, the console, we don't need to talk about the console at this point. What did I saw earlier? I saw some statistics like of Marathon, and like the player numbers on Xbox were so low because nobody's playing on Xbox anymore. It's completely crazy. So the Xbox console.
They're all playing on their
Yeah.
They're all playing on their Xbox smart fridge, man. Their Xbox smart microwave, so they don't need the console anymore, bro.
As long
If you
as it
got
has
if you got a
AI.
shoe with some Wi-Fi in it, well, congrats. You know,
That's
you got
right.
the first Xbox marathon shoe, man. You know it's like, you know what it's gonna be like if they stick to the Xbox, is because they're not you know, according to Sharma, whose first like LinkedIn post was talking about how, don't worry guys, no AI slop is going on Xbox. We're going back to, and I quote, the renegade spirit. And then Matt Booty on as reported by GamerAnx, said that we are under no pressure to use AI by Microsoft. But I'm just gonna say the absolute obvious. You cannot say, don't worry, guys, AI slop won't be part of Xbox. We're going back to that renegade spirit.
Mm.
And then have you know, the second in command also say that while also making the AI chief the new head of Xbox. Like, don't worry, guys, we're not gonna infiltrate AI into this and use it in an invasive manner. But all of Microsoft's history up until this point, up until like, you know, for the last 2 years, have been invasively putting AI into Windows 11. The most recent update, or one of the most recent updates, they bragged about how 30% of the code was written by AI, and it's continued to have one of the worst performances, you know,
Mm.
of any Windows program ever. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, very strange, messaging here. But good luck to Sharma, and Matt Booty is either going to be our savior, or he's going to double down on the whole everything is an Xbox thing. We truly don't know. We have no idea. Like we have these vague illusions of what might become. Who knows? Maybe Asha Sharma will lead us into the future, like Connor or Edward Kenway in Assassin's Creed 4. But
Mm,
we'll
mm,
see. I will say one thing about Phil though is his career early on was good, and then it just kind of became more and more mixed. His the centralization of the games media landscape, if you will,
mm,
to sound super professional, between Sony and Microsoft when they started gobbling up studios in like the mid or the early 2020s. And then that led to a whole bunch of overlap, which led to all these constant layoffs. That's going to be a huge blemish on his career.
yeah.
Like you said, the mishandling of their top IP,
But not
the
only their
confused
IP,
messaging
also
around Game Pass.
their mishandling of their studios, right? Like they closed Tango
Yeah,
Gameworks. Come on, man. Like,
yeah,
what are you
Hi-Fi Rush.
doing?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
closed Arcane Austin. Like this is
And that was
all
after Redfall, but yeah,
fair enough, but still, come on, man. Like these are
yeah.
great
It's
studios.
Arcane Austin.
Again,
Yeah,
I'm not pinning it just on Phil. I think this was already the board in his neck, being like, bro, we gotta cut now. Where are we cutting Phil? And he's got to make that call somehow.
yeah. True, true,
But
true.
a quick word also on the new CEOs, Asha Sharma. I said, I don't know, I wrote down Asha Shah in my notes, but it is Asha Sharma. The quote about AI is not that they're not doing AI, right? She's playing semantics here. I don't know if you noticed this. What she said is that they have no tolerance for bad AI. But that also implies,
But
on the
all
reverse, that they have
is bad.
absolutely a
Like,
tolerance for good AI. Okay? Good
yeah,
AI is very good, actually. If it builds the whole game for us and it's good and we deem it good, then it's actually fine. We just have a low tolerance for bad AI. So, very much she is implying, actually, that there will be a lot of AI shit coming. But yeah, Arcane
my own
Studios
question is
Tango made me angry. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
no, no, no. My only question is this good AI in the room with us right now? Like, what does that mean? Okay, because every time AI has been put into something, it's always done to cut corners, or I can't really think. Maybe Claude can now like reorganize your spreadsheet. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Mm,
That's
mm,
about it. That's the only thing I can really name.
mm.
Um, so we'll see. Again, I think she's only been CEO literally for less than a week. Um, but we'll see. We'll see in the next 5 years.
Mm.
I'm interested, to be honest with you. I'm interested. I think Phil, thanks for everything. He Don Matternick, he really came in and he sweet chinned music the whole goddamn organization.
Yeah.
And Phil came in there like Stone Cold Steve Austin, gave him a stunner, and then was trying to rebuild the. Apologies for the pro wrestling references, but
Listen,
but yeah, no, I think
Phil Spencer's still alive. Okay, only his job has been sunsetted. He's fine. He can live a
yeah,
life
but
now.
I mean, spiritually, he's dead. You know what I'm saying?
As an idea, as a
But I will say
concept.
about Phil as well. About Phil as well, he was a master of PR, but he was also a gamer. So people could just like see him play games on his like Xbox and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt Booty probably is a gamer. I mean, if you work in games, you probably play them. Um, Asha is not at all, but yeah, I'm very interested to see where it's going to go. I think Phil is long overdue, in my opinion. I think he should have probably resigned around after the acquisition. Honestly, I think was a
Mm,
good time to go.
mm.
But it's probably also the acquisition that really caused all these like studio closures. And I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm actually gonna say I don't think Xbox has ever been profitable. Like I'm almost pretty
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
that it's never been profitable,
It's possible. You're
just
probably right.
because just because the first Xbox, the original Xbox, didn't literally have time to make its money, and it was super expensive, and its production didn't go down because it was using hard drives. The 360 was super good, but then you had the Red Ring of Death, and the Red Ring of Death had a 100% chance of happening. So that means every single 360 they sold, they had to then fix and send back for no cost. So that
Yeah.
was a couple billion. Xbox One was a flop. They lost hard to PlayStation 4. Series S and X was also a flop. You have to really question, was this branch ever popular? Apparently, though,
Yeah.
according again to the Verge, Microsoft is legitimately worried and wants to keep this brand afloat because it's one of its few like popular mainstream consumer brands that I guess gets them some goodwill. So they do genuinely want the brand to do good.
Hmm.
Um, but we'll see, because what Microsoft thinks is good is just putting a whole bunch of AI that really isn't finished and is really sloppily done. So
Yeah,
we'll
so
see. I'm excited though.
I'm excited too. I'm excited too. I mean, let's see where it goes. Some people are already saying that she was hired to sunset the brand. Like her job is to transition it out smoothly so it goes away in 5 or 10 years. I don't really think that's the case. But I mean, I'm sure you heard this whole Microslop story as well, right? Like you're aware of what happened there.
Oh yeah, I love it. They banned that term.
Yeah, so, but you have to know how the term originated. The term originated because I think I don't know who it was, but some high ranking guy at Microsoft said that we need to get used to AI being everywhere and we need to give control to AI and something like this. I'm paraphrasing, but he made this quite stupid statement about AI within Microsoft products as well. And then people started to use that term Microslop, right? And they made logos and they put it everywhere. And then they started recently banning it from their Discord, from the Microsoft Discord. And that obviously pushed hundreds of people to that server just to try out if the word is actually banned. So people
Yeah.
were starting to troll. So now on that Discord server, they have stopped anyone from joining. Like you cannot join the server as far as I'm aware at the moment because it escalated so much. So they're already seeing this massive backlash against any AI.
Pushback.
Also, them introducing AI tools into Teams and stuff. Nobody wants it, right? Every time it gets backlash. And then for them to say, we put an AI and non-gaming person in charge of, basically at the height of this AI wave that we're seeing at the moment, in charge of this is a wild decision. That is a wild decision. I understand everyone's doubling down on AI, but it is crazy because not only is she AI, but she's also not a gamer, really. So, and she's female, right? You get this incels all over the
Like,
internet losing their mind
yeah,
that their precious gaming brand is now run by an Indian or like non-white female. It is so funny to
you're not
witness.
wrong.
Then what do
Yeah.
you mean they're not wrong? Can you elaborate, please? Jesus.
No, I mean you're not wrong.
Oh,
Like they
okay.
are. It's gonna be, like Gamergate 3 is on the way.
Yes.
Um, it's
Yes.
so unfortunate. It really is so unfortunate. But I mean, hey, I'll say give her a chance. We'll see where this goes. Microsoft is indeed. I mean, every tech company, they're not just doubling down, in my opinion, they're tripling down.
Yeah.
Because what is it? It's like 40% of the S&P 500. Oh, by the way, I should say Nasdaq is over 50,000.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we should all just be happy about that.
That's good.
So
Don't talk about
why
other
should we
things.
even be worried? Yeah.
No, that's it.
But we'll see. I mean, if in her memo, also Sharma did say that she disapproved of the direction that Xbox was going in, and it's very clear that everything as an Xbox campaign was a failure, like externally and internally.
Damn cat
So
fight,
maybe,
bro. That's like, Sarah Bond and
yeah.
they're cat fighting.
But yeah, so yeah, maybe this means they're gonna go traditional. Who knows? It's interesting because now people are questioning if, because everything is an Xbox thing, had people questioning whether or not there is even going to be a new Xbox console.
Mm,
But AMD, I don't know if you saw this, AMD in their like the CFO, their chief financial officer,
mm.
and like a company briefing or whatever, has said that they have successfully supplied whatever hardware that they're providing for Xbox for its release in 2027. So
Oh,
AMD may have accidentally leaked that the next
oh.
Xbox coming out 2027. However, the Steam Machine, the GameCube, the S box, as I like to call it, it still doesn't have a price due to RAM,
Yeah.
due to the pieces of hardware that is being used in these AI data centers. So if the goddamn GameCube doesn't have a price, and what is the next uh, you know um, step for these consoles? Because there's no way you're gonna be able to afford the production line of a console right now. And
Mm,
so I think that's pushed back the new generation of consoles for, like, I don't know, 3, maybe 5 years.
mm.
And this kind of, if you want to transition slightly, leads to another point, which is that Sony's CFO, I believe, recently talked about how they're done with user acquisition. Oh, by the way, the reason also Sharma was chosen is due to her capacity or her ability to acquire new users.
Mm.
But recently, Sony has said that we are basically done acquiring new users, and the way we're going to make more money now is by monetizing the current user base.
Right.
So that kind of leads into this position where, well, if you're going to monetize the current base, you're not really here to acquire new users, and now you have this hardware limitation.
Yeah.
I do believe that gaming companies now are going to look internally to their existing user base, and what that means is you're going to get, basically, in my opinion, a lot more like these little mini microtransactions. Definitely up the cost on these subscriptions. Maybe you get, another tier like Game Pass Premium Deluxe X Edition or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and another report which is slightly different, and I'm tying these all together, don't you worry. By, I believe, Bloomberg or a similar news agency, talked about how basically gaming actually has not, like the gaming market value has not increased,
Hmm.
and it only looks like it increased due to like PUBG or like Fortnite or all these big lives as a service games. But everyone else is not increasing or really profitable. So it looks like the games industry is actually getting into a bit of a stagnating point.
Yeah.
And now Asha, at just 36 years old, with the help of Gandalf Matt Booty, is in this new environment, and I think they have a really tough line ahead of them. And I do think that I don't think we can expect a console next year. Like if they do that, oh my god, dude, that is actually like Gandalf the White, appearing on the hill, because that's just totally. I mean, who could expect it?
No, they're not going to do it.
But
It's
yeah,
not going to
we'll
happen.
see. They're in a
PlayStation
tough
also
position
just
for sure.
announced. PlayStation also announced that they're not releasing a console for, what was it, 2028, 27 or something. That was
Oh, yeah.
so, and everyone reacted online.
Yeah.
They were like, "Great, please don't." Right? We don't
Yeah.
feel the PS5 is at its end. We want to see more good games on our platforms before we get a new one. I mean, let's be honest. The PS5 still feels so new. It still feels like the thing just came out. I know it didn't,
Not a
but
lot
it
of
feels like that.
exclusives too. Yeah,
Yeah, not many exclusives. We spoke about this, I think, in
I
a
agree with you.
previous
I
episode.
agree.
But a quickly final word on this, because it's interesting, right? You said Xbox probably never was profitable. Maybe it was a little at some point, but I agree with you. It never was this money printing machine. From the hardware to the games to the money, the infinite money they spent on all these studios. So now they bring in this lady, and she's an AI platform builder. That's what she is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's heavily implied that they see the future of gaming in AI. With her on the helm, but also with them. Obviously, she's there now to turn it around and to make this profitable somehow. And do you make it profitable by generating 80% of your assets that normally cost a lot of money to make by hand by AI, right? And that's, to be honest, not even unthinkable. It's not unthinkable that, let's say you want to do a bar. You need to do a bar for a game. And you want to have all these little bottles and glasses and all that stuff that sits around the bar. Dude, you get an AI to generate that at a high standard if you give it enough assets for reference in like 2 minutes. That would normally take a week or two, of modeling. Probably more even, of all these little items. So I think they are definitely going AI. I think their future is in AI. And that worries me. I am excited where we're going with her in the leadership, because I generally agree with you, like young people. I mean, her being in her 30s, she is young in my eyes. That's good. More people like that should
36
be
is
at the
young,
helm. It is.
bro.
In this field, for sure. In the job that she's in now, for sure. But it also, there is this risk. There is this risk now that we're going to see Xbox, the brand, whatever the products they're putting out there, being kind of slaughtered in front of our eyes in slow motion in the name of absolute profit maximization, right? Where they're like, now profit is everything. It's all AI. It's all automated. Everything. It's like a horrible product they're putting out just so less people work on it, and it just falls apart. So yeah, I don't know. It's tricky, but quickly, I have
I
a
mean,
few.
Sony kind of had
Comment
that,
on that.
no?
Say again.
Sony
Go.
kind of had that when they announced that they want to make 10 live service games. And then they released what? You got Helldivers, and then what's it called? Arc Raiders, and then that was it, really. So I think you're already seeing this uber monetization of the space even more. But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't think Xbox is going to do that, just because I think maybe I shouldn't say that because that might bite me. But I think they're kind of okay for now to take these losses, because they're still a very profitable company. They still have their pockets run deep.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they have the patience to, I guess, because we're saying AI, but what does that mean? Are we just talking about like AI in games development, just making games? We'll see. I mean, yeah. So I don't
You,
know. I think Xbox is
mm.
willing to be more patient slightly with Asha and give her, some time to rebuild and reorganize. I think because of the extreme backlash, they're well aware of the bad reputation AI currently has, and
Mm.
they've definitely seen it because of this new Windows. One of the most recent Windows updates was so poorly received, because it was just so sloppily done. So I think now they're aware. Whether or not they're going to act on it is completely different. So
Well,
we'll see. I will say that the biggest thing that I hate is the amount of misogynist and racist vitriol that's going to come from this. But other than that,
I
it's
know
chill.
what you mean. That is
I hate it.
actually,
It's cringe.
it's a perfect transition, dude, because I have some tweets here which I'm going to put on screen now. Hold on. How do I do this? Like that.
Oh god.
Yeah, like just a few that I've bookmarked in this context, right? Here's Grumps, obviously famous alleged game producer and
Yeah.
right-leaning person saying Xbox is effed. That was obviously very shortly after this announcement came out. And it's like, so why is Xbox effed? Because woman, right? Because woman
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
charge. Xbox cannot be good. Here's another one from Smash JT, and he says, are women killing video games, guys? Look at these women. Look at their faces. Could anything good come out of people like that? Let's be honest. Like that's what's
Do you know that?
implied. It's unbelievable.
Do you know that Chud Wojak meme of him being like, "X has fallen, America has fallen," and it's just a dude with glasses and he looks super sad. That's all the vibe it's giving.
It
That's
is
all the vibe it's
so
giving. And I also love
pathetic.
the picture they use of these women. They're always like well groomed and they're so like good,
Yes.
well like presenting. I bet you if none of these dudes, because they are majority dudes, uh, if not all of them, look anywhere near as close as well groomed or as
As well taken care
hygienic,
of.
if you will.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well taken care of. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, no,
only makes
100%.
it
It's
funny.
such a loser shit. But you're right. Like that kicked off as well. As soon as this became known that we have a female with Indian heritage as the new Xbox CEO, oh my god! Like Nazi Twitter collapsed in itself. Basically, everyone was so angry,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
don't really know why. They don't really know why. They're just like person doesn't have white skin color, we cannot give them a chance. It is unbelievable how programmed these goons are at this point.
yeah,
Shocking,
yeah.
shocking stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, as a kind of final word on this, but like, I still think, here's my prediction. Maybe we can do each a prediction of where we think this will
Okay,
go.
okay, I'm down.
To be honest, I'm not optimistic. I'm curious and excited, but I'm not optimistic because I think she will be having, like probably Phil had as well, all these shareholders and people who manage money in her neck all the time, breathing down her neck, and she will be under this permanent pressure to increase revenue and so on. So, and they will push her to make certain decisions. They will be like, listen, Asha, we need to do this now. It's a very important, a whole boardroom of people with suits telling you that. So she will comply, and I think we will see Game Pass prices going up. Okay, we will see less good games and new exclusives. And I'm talking about the next 5 years here in Game Pass. So prices up, number of exclusives that people actually want down. We will see more studios closing, okay, because we got to make that money. We have AI now, it's great. People will be let go. We will see more AI assets being slopped into the games that people find out. People are going to be like, look at this cup. Nobody manually modeled this or something. And there will be these scandals where it's like, there it is, the Microslop assets. So we'll see that. And I think, to be honest, in the next 7-8 years, when it comes to Xbox, we'll see the absolute reputational apocalypse. That's what I predict. It will be a disaster for them. But
Wow. So your prediction is that Microsoft is about to enter its Dark Souls 3, where even the good ending is depressing,
it is.
basically.
Yeah, it's going to be
That's your
bad.
prediction.
Yeah, but that's my
Okay.
prediction. Yeah, I don't
All
know.
right. I guess personally, and I I'm I have a definitely more positive slant on this. First of all, let's begin internally, right? Uh, Sarah Bond leaving or resigning was actually liked, if you will, internally at Xbox because apparently, according to the Verge report that I was using earlier, uh, Sarah was described as hard to work with, a bit autocratic,
Mm.
um, very, I guess, authoritarian in how just she run things. However, people always highlighted her ability to make and cut deals. So that was something that no one ever took back, and people also called her, very intelligent, just a tough boss. Um, and since Phil was planning to leave, it looks like it's been known, like I said, internally and externally for a while, Phil is nearing the end. I think in the popular like gaming space, I think people were waiting for the last Xbox to be released. I think
Mm.
that's why I guess people had it in their mind that Phil wanted to go out with a bang. Um, but yeah, so I think internally it's not that bad at Xbox. I think Matt Booty being an old head, I think a lot of people know about Matt Booty internally, and I think he's had pretty good experience dealing with game studios and heading a game studio, and hopefully he is aware how negative the feedback to AI is. Hopefully they're not drowning in their own hubris, kind of covering their head in the dirt, because Satya Nadella, like he's invested basically his whole reputation
Mm.
on AI. Um, so yeah, I'm slightly more positive. I think Asha coming in at such a young age, having no experience in entertainment or gaming is worrying. But fresh face. Maybe that's what the company needs. Um,
Maybe.
and yeah, she seems like actually a pretty cool chick. She's been described as positive, enthusiastic, a quick learner, and having a real big willingness to learn, and humble too. So she seems like, at least person wise, she seems like approachable and fun. And
I
and I do think if her first statement on like LinkedIn or whatever, I mean, she's got her head. I mean, in I guess the right point where she wants to go back to that renegade spirit. She wants, old Xbox to be back, when it's like Vince McMahon telling Stone Cold, we want the old Stone Cold back. Um, but yeah, we'll see whether or not she's able to commit to it is another thing. I am very interested to know the mandate that she's been given. Like, is it make Xbox good PR again, or make Xbox more valuable? Because she's also, I think, if The Verge is right, and one of the main reasons she was picked is because her ability to acquire new users.
mm,
I'm kind of questioning that, because now we have Sony being like, we're really done acquiring new users and we're just going to look internally. So, are there even new users to acquire? Are you going to
mm.
try to leech off of, I don't know, PC gamers? Or maybe because I don't really see any PS5 people going to Xbox, and that's, PS5 might have little, a few exclusives, but like Xbox basically has nothing. And as much as PC gamers really hate exclusives, it is one of the biggest and important pillars in consoles. It's one of the biggest reasons to buy a console is the exclusive games on it. So yeah, a bit of a conflict of orders here. She is I would assume tasked with somehow integrating AI into Microsoft gaming, and yet now she's saying that she wants to go back to that old renegade spirit, which I guess would necessitate that kind of old school thinking of exclusives, good games, released frequently to attract new user base. And
I'm
then
not
at
buying
the
that
same
for a
time,
second, by the way. Not for a second. That's
okay,
just marketing
yeah,
speak.
fair,
That's
fair,
people saying you
yeah,
say this, and then she said that. That's what happened, I think.
yeah, true, true. But we'll
But
see. I mean, I guess, slightly enthusiastic. I'll give her a chance.
I mean, to be honest, it sounds like you're in love with Asha and you're trying to hit on her. That's what's going on here. You're
Hey
basically,
man,
you
listen,
yeah.
if if a corporate vice president asked me out on a date, I'm not saying no. You
You're
know what I'm
saying
saying?
no.
I'm not
That's
saying
true.
no.
That's
I'd
true.
love to see the Bahamas in real life. But
Fair
yeah,
enough. No, no,
so
she's
yeah,
an
that's my
attractive
opinion.
woman. She's got
And also,
everything. Yes.
I think though the hatred she's getting just solely based on the fact that she is an ethnic woman
Hmm.
is already, like, I'm like already on her side. You know what I'm saying? Even if I hate
Yes.
someone,
She already did a
I
great job triggering all these
yeah,
clowns,
yeah, yeah,
basically by
yeah,
just existing.
yeah. How dare a woman?
Yes.
And it's like, dude, women have been involved with gaming since like forever. It's like, no, they haven't. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, they have actually.
I
But
mean,
anyway, yeah.
maybe there is a point to be made about, like you say, that she's actually not a gamer. You bring in a fresh face, just a different approach, a different angle to the thing. We will see. We will see. I've got a bad feeling about it. I think because they also understand the Xbox brand is basically already dead. Like I said, all their brands that they had from Gears of War to Halo, none of these
You say that now,
really.
man.
Hmm,
You
you,
say that now. But when the Xbox toaster comes out, you're gonna be on a whole new play games and toast your bread. Oh my god! I mean, sign me up, bro. I mean, my two favorite hobbies: fresh bread and gaming.
what happened
And
to
once they
that?
put that Home Depot application in there, Xbox, get me a new ladder.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. New hammer dropped.
What happened
So
to the KFC console? Do you remember that? The Kentucky Fried Chicken
Oh
console.
yeah, yeah. I wonder what
So,
happened.
yeah, what happened? I don't know.
14 people died in a fire. That's what happened.
People have
Probably.
died.
No, they didn't.
They
I'm
didn't.
making a joke
That's true.
just for yeah, they didn't. But I
Allegedly.
mean, come on.
Yeah. No, I mean it was a marketing
This
stunt, but
the
it's
KFC
funny.
yeah, the KFC console would have been great in like 2008, and like you had to run like Crysis 2 on it. That would cause enough heat from the hardware for it
Yeah.
to explode.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, it's the end of an era. It
That's
really is. It's
mm.
a huge end of an era. Xbox will never be the same. This is basically the beginning of the nostalgia phase. This is the beginning of in 6 years we're gonna say, you remember Phil Spencer, the times when Phil Spencer was the CEO of Xbox. Those were the great days.
Remember his vintage gaming T-shirts? Come on,
That's
man.
right. He was wearing a Hexen
Remember when
T-shirt.
people?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah, man.
great.
Remember Hexen? And
Yeah.
people were like, "What? I just want games."
Yeah. Listen, Hexen, great game. Okay, I'm not leaving this standing like this. Hexen was a great game. I
I do
played
love
it.
when nerds get popular, they always choose a trademark like clothing item. For Todd Howard, it's leather jackets,
Yeah,
and for Phil Spencer, it's vintage gaming T-shirts,
it's
man.
true. That's
Yeah.
what it is. We never got a new Hexen though, so it's completely pointless. He did nothing. He did nothing for us. But yeah, it is
Oh,
sad.
what a travesty.
Yeah, to be honest,
I'm sure
personally, I
I'm
think
sure all 7.5 Hexen fanboys, they got off their life support and they're like, "Oh my god!" And then they passed out and died
hey,
because
listen,
they couldn't handle.
Hexen, great gameplay. It was the time when we just got Doom,
Oh
and people were
Jesus!
tired of Doom, right? So we needed another game, and this did it. And Hexen, there was also Heretic, the older generation. You don't know what these games are, but there was also another mythical fantasy first-person shooter, if you want. That's much more like spell-based and things rather than shooting guns. That was called Heretic. So Hexen and Heretic, those were big games at the time. Good games. And I appreciate Phil Spencer remembers, even with it's just a T-shirt. Maybe his team gave him this T-shirt. He doesn't even know the game. I doubt
No,
it.
no, no. I think he knows. No,
He
no,
knows,
no.
right?
I think he knows.
Yeah.
He knows. He definitely.
So anyway, so Hexen, we never got it. It's a lot that was left to be desired. And in a way, there's
Yeah,
also
tragedy.
yeah.
Tragedy, guys. We never got a Hexen 2. What a tragedy.
No, but look, it's not just this, but like I said, so many brands
Oh yeah,
died.
you could shoot through the window, man. Wow.
This is the future, right? And then shortly
Yeah.
after Hexen, we got games like Redneck Rampage. You will not know this as well. This is basically.
That sounds vaguely racist.
It is a little bit.
Isn't that the sequel to is this a sequel to J.D. Vance's autobiography, Hillbilly Elegy, Redneck Rampage?
It might be. I remember that this game at the time when it came out, it did not run on my computer. It looked too good. The graphics were too good. My computer's low FPS stuttering. Yeah.
And now you can run this game like, I don't know, a potato.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
a literal potato.
That's true at the time. So that was great.
Yeah.
Redneck Rampage. It was cool because it brought it into this weird American rural redneck town, and you run around killing rednecks.
Yeah, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre looking game.
A little bit, you see. But that came then after Hexen. You can see. Anyway, that's a whole different thing.
What is this game's story? You play as a mass murderer, and you enter a family of 7, and you try to, I don't know, heal their light cold flu with a
like I said,
shotgun.
I could never play it because my computer couldn't run it. So I don't know the story, but I know you run around in these corridors. It's based on the same engine, right? This is still like the, I think, build engine or something that came out of Duke Nukem, which also came out at the time, Duke Nukem 3D. But anyway, as kind of a final word, I mean, it's what I find funny and interesting is that Phil Spencer convinced all of us that he's a really nice gamer dude. I think his legacy, beyond some of the mistakes he made, and maybe Xbox failed under him or whatever, is that he was a nice guy and he was a gamer and he loved video games and he was, in our eyes, a good guy. But if you would not know who Phil Spencer is, you never seen or met the guy, and then you just look at the things that happened under him, right? Like all the brands that died and all the stuff that Bethesda basically just did. Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online. That this is like their big things now. It's like, why we're wasting so much talent, so many brands, whatever, The Evil Within, or I don't know, Banjo-Kazooie, Killer Instinct. There are so many brands that Xbox had that could have been revived that he never did anything with. So I find it fascinating that there is this misalignment of people really liking Phil Spencer, and he managed to convince all of us to like him, while at the same time, he messed up on so many levels. You know, it's like, good God.
It's because Don Matternick was just that bad. You know,
Is it
it's
not Don
like
Matrick?
I think whatever, man. He's become corporate American goop at this point.
No,
Like
I
he's
know.
some juice that you can drink.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
whatever, just another interchangeable CEO. But I really do think what really helped Phil Spencer is the environment he was coming out of. All you needed was just to be a half decent dude who could speak in front of a camera, and he was a actual gamer, and that gave him a huge boost compared to Don Matternick, who was just some dude that looked like he spawned in a corporate vice president's closet one day and just ready a suit. He wasn't even born. He was just
Not a
like
human.
there,
Yeah,
locked out. You're like, I'm ready to be a CEO, and you're like, all
it's
right,
true.
Don.
And
So I
he
really do
was.
think it was just that bad,
Yeah,
and the collective trauma of
yeah,
TV
yeah.
allowed Philly to when you had this dude who seemingly had the his finger on the pulse of what gamers want, and he constantly echoed it. Playing games when we want, where we want, with whomever we want, all the time. People were going crazy. People were foaming at the mouth. It's like that dude in episode 3 of Avatar on Whale Tail Island when he saw Aang and he was just foaming at the mouth constantly. So that's what Phil Spencer was. I think the hype definitely died down, along with like a lot of games media after the end of E3. And now everyone, who like, does anybody care about the Xbox showcase or the PlayStation showcase? It used to
Yeah,
be all there
people
at E3,
people
but
do
anyway.
care because they want to ridicule it. People do care and they
Well,
want to look
yeah,
at it and say,
yeah,
this
but people
sucks.
used to be excited, man.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
used to be excited, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but no, really, it's Jeff Keighley who single-handedly keeps
Jeff Keighley single-handedly destroyed everything. No,
yeah.
but I mean,
He is Atlas. In the same way that Atlas held up the heavens, Jeff Keighley is holding up.
okay.
I'm sure that's gonna make someone mad, but who
No,
cares? Anyway,
nobody will understand that reference. But anyway, it
I don't
is
know.
interesting, and I
Everybody
mean,
knows
maybe
Atlas. Come on.
maybe the fall of
Anyway,
Xbox that I'm arguably predicting is also like this implication of that. We spoke about this before, like a gaming crash or like a gaming crisis, because
oh yeah.
this might be an implication of this, because we're seeing this everywhere. So many games are coming out, very few games are actually being played. A single developer, very few can live off a game that they make or something. It's not how this works. So there's definitely, and now with big players like Xbox making these decisions, pushing more for AI, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I think you kind of touched on it earlier. There's like a massive trend at the moment of gaming still being a huge bubble, but that huge bubble plays very few games. It's like you have the Call of Duty, you have the Fortnite. Like, I know, for example, we saw statistics a week ago for Roblox. I don't want to lie, but it has like more players than...
It's insane.
Like, it's insane. Like the Roblox player numbers. Let me see if I can find it. So there's definitely still gamers that can be conquered, by Xbox.
They're locked in. They're locked in, man.
Yeah, well,
And
at
I
the
think with
moment
the thing with Game
right.
Pass, I think with Game Pass as well, they upped the price when they felt like people were locked in, like because the reason people are playing Roblox, or not only are these games like, these people have like psychologists and analysts to make sure that this game is like addicting or as
of
hard to
course.
get off as
It
possible.
works well
Roblox is
on my
obviously
kids.
getting into a lot of heated water. Yeah, because of how much. Because kids, man, and it's not just kids; it's kids with their mom and dad's credit card. But yeah, kids, man, they it's the perfect cohort of people who have literally all the time in the world because their homework is like 2 + 2 is 73. You know what I'm saying? Like they have that time to waste.
And
the
you know
longer
what
they're
you're
in,
talking about there.
But yeah, I do
sure.
think what.
When it comes to like childish homework.
Oh
and
yeah,
right.
Because I am also a child. Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah.
That was the joke. Yes. Look, I found the quote. Roblox had 150 million daily users in Q3 2025.
That is half of the United States.
Its
half
quarterly
of the
engagement
Roblox, bro.
The quarterly engagement, so a quarter of that is now equal to Steam, PlayStation, and Fortnite combined, at least claims this tweet here.
Jesus Christ.
So you see, there are markets that they can definitely conquer. And these kids that play Roblox, they don't give a shit about AI assets. They don't give a fuck. They will never like, oh, look, this is AI. Yeah. This is just like angry old gamers like me and you who get upset about this stuff. Yeah. So they're gonna aggressively tap into those markets as well. Maybe do something like buy Roblox, put it all on Xbox or whatever. crazy stuff. So there are still markets to be conquered, I guess, for Xbox.
Yeah, we do have to. If we're obviously we're out of time,
Running off
but I
time.
think it's only fair that we at least mention it very quickly. Highguard is shutting down.
Oh,
But
no.
Highguard is officially shutting down on the 12th of March.
Which is very
after-
soon. Very soon.
Yeah, after
That's
literally just a
6
month
weeks.
and a half
6
when
weeks,
it
yeah.
shuts down. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. After a month and a half of existing, Highguard is no guard. It is no more. Yeah.
Why is this
Who could
happening?
have predicted this except ever? Dude, we were literally on the podcast, literally last
know.
episode
I
or the
know.
episode before. We're like, it's gonna shut down. You said it's gonna shut down within 6 months, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's gonna shut down this year.
Yeah.
And we were both wrong. It shut down in the month of like, oh my god.
And that's
Shutting
because
down in February.
I'm telling you, this is
Jeez.
actually very interesting because that's because these companies now see these patterns with Concord and other games. There were other games before that basically come out. They cost a lot of money to make and they just flop instantly. And now they know these games don't come back. I mean, sure, you can do a No Man's Sky and do like 6 years of free content, which is great, but they don't want to do this. They look at money. They don't care about happy players. So they now know that the game comes out, and if it doesn't hit hard within the first month, they're like, let's cut the cord now. It's not going to come back. Let's get rid of the people who work on it and save the money on the servers, basically. It's crazy.
I mean,
this
yeah,
is
so
now a
people-
thing. This is a new genre now. Games coming out and instantly being shut down again, basically. It's crazy.
The Concord effect, man.
Yeah.
I mean, people popularly refer to it as Concord effect. I will say, Highguard's literally its only claim to fame is that Jeff Keighley liked it. Like that's it. That's why we're talking about it. If Jeff Keighley didn't like it, this game literally no one would have. No, I disagree with that meme. By the way, Marathon is not going to be a failure. I'm calling it now. Marathon will not be a failure at all. Yeah, that
Boy.
game will do well, and it will have at least like 15,000 players consistently, in my opinion.
15,000.
It's not going to be peak 15. Yeah, but like after the peak of like 150 or 100K players when it launches, I think it will consistently have between 15 and 20,000 players.
Oh, no.
Calling it right now, at least on Steam, at least. So.
Okay.
Oh, and also Overwatch 2 is now Overwatch, and yeah.
Yes,
whatever.
I heard this. They rebranded it to
So
Overwatch
dumb.
2.
It literally it is such a perfect microcosm of what gaming is today. It's like we're going back. We're going back to the past. We messed up. Any new IP fails because our studios are run by games analysts who don't know what they're talking about, or analysts who are like, well, the numbers show that this is what people want. So now everything is just reverting back to 2016 era, truly. But yeah, Overwatch 2 is now just Overwatch.
Good
but anyway.
stuff. Well, I had a few other stories as well, but we are out of time. It's very sad, but we will be back. Are we doing next week Friday then? Is it like that short or?
Yeah, next week Friday.
Next week Friday. We try to get back into the rhythm. All right. I appreciate the time. Thanks, Ramses. Thanks, everyone, for listening and all those things. We see you in the next one. What?
Much like Highguard, we too must come to an end.
We're going to be sunsetted once again. But we will rise again.
Absolutely.
We will rise again in the future. So smash like, subscribe, do the things. I shouldn't say this in the end because nobody's watching. If you're still watching this right now, then comment
your favorite Phil Spencer moment.
Yes, comment your favorite. Comment the word pineapple underneath, so we know someone in this world was still listening that late in the episode. Anyway, guys, that's it. Sure. Smash like.
Anyway, take care.
Take care. We're out. Bye.